Today, we're going to talk about vacuum sealing with the end in mind. Hello, everybody. This is Deb from Just Do Something Homestead, and what we often call the beginning is actually the end. This is the end product of vacuum sealing. All of these items that are vacuum sealed on my shelf were bought in a grocery store, but this is only a small portion of what I vacuum seal. I actually vacuum seal a lot of what I produce. There are actually 4 steps to get to this place, to the place where everything is vacuum sealed and on your shelves. The 4 steps are to grow it, dry it, vacuum seal it, and then store it. This is dried corn, and it is just one of the many things that we raise, dry, and vacuum seal. Another item is our fresh strawberries. Both corn and strawberries are super easy to raise, and in fact, they're much, much cheaper. If I was to buy this in the store, I would be paying a pretty penny. And here is yet another. This is parsley. I raised it, dried it, crushed it, vacuum sealed it, and stored it. So today, we're going to keep the end in sight, and we're going to talk about 4 ways to vacuum seal dried corn. Starting at the end, I'm going to show you how to store your vacuum sealed products. Then we'll focus step by step on how to vacuum seal dried goods. Next, I'm going to show you how to dry frozen corn. And lastly, we're going to step out into my garden and show you exactly how to plant corn. And if you are brand new to our channel, I'd like to welcome you and say welcome aboard. A lot of what we do on Just Do Something Homestead is vacuum sealing. Number 1 is how to store your vacuum sealed foods. Storing vacuum sealed food is super easy. All you need is a cool, dark room. And the cooler it is and the darker it stays, the longer your food will last. For long-term storage, I store the bulk of my vacuum sealed items in my temperature controlled pantry. Number 2 is how to vacuum seal. Vacuum sealing removes the air from your jars, and when you do that, your food will last longer. 2 other benefits of vacuum sealing your food into jars. First off, it keeps critters and insects out. And second off, it saves you money because you can save food from going bad. Few things you're going to need to vacuum seal. First, you're going to need a quality vacuum sealer. I am a huge fan of Food Saver, and this is my Food Saver 5200. Regardless of which sealer you go with, it needs to have a port. You're also going to need some canning jars, some rings, some lids, and the adapter. And unfortunately, the adapter did not come with my vacuum sealer, so I had to make a second purchase on Amazon. But this is what attaches to your jar and then gets attached to your vacuum sealer. You can vacuum seal into a variety of jar sizes, all the way from a half gallon down to the itty bitty quarter of a pint. It is up to you. Most of my jars I buy from the thrift shop. And I did purchase a wide mouth funnel so that I don't spill everything as I pour it into my jar, but it's definitely not a requirement to vacuum seal. I'm going to start by pouring my dried corn into a canning jar. You want to wipe the rim to make sure there's no crumbs up on the top, and then put on a clean lid. Now, it does not have to be a brand new lid for vacuum sealing. You can reuse them. I'm going to place that attachment right on top of the jar and push it on down. Next, I'm going to plug in this end into the hole on the top of my attachment, just like that. And make sure you have it all the way down into it. Perfect. Then I turn on my vacuum sealer, and I'm going to push accessory. My Food Saver shuts off automatically, so I remove the port and then the attachment. You want to make sure that lid is on tight, and one way to do that is to go around and try to pull it off. Also, the center of this should be sunk down just a little bit, so this jar is sealed. Next, I put a ring on it, and I store it in a dark, cool location. That is the secret to getting your products to last a long time. In our home, I grind most of our dried corn into cornmeal and use it as a breading, but I also use my dried corn to add to recipes such as stews and soups. In fact, I have stopped purchasing any cornmeal because it cannot compare to the cornmeal I grind. I quickly showed you how to vacuum seal any of your dry ingredients or products. Now I'm going to show you how to dry your corn. I use this little dehydrator, and I bought this, it seems like everything was about 10 years ago, but I bought it about 10 years ago for about $100. And I use it constantly during the summer season. This is what I use to dry my herbs, my vegetables, and my fruits. Now I'm going to dehydrate some of our frozen corn from last year. Obviously, it is not time to harvest corn, so what I usually do is just cut it off the cob and freeze it because it's so busy in harvest time. Then you can take it out like now and you can dry it. The racks that came with my dehydrator did not come with the mesh sheets that go on top, so I had to order them again from Amazon. But without that, your corn is going to fall through those cracks, so make sure you have a mesh screen on top. And at this point, I am going to spread all my frozen corn onto this tray. You don't even need to thaw it. You can put it right on there frozen. It's important to spread this corn out. You don't want it just stacked up on top of each other, but give it some room so that the air can get around each kernel. Next, I slide it into my dehydrator. Now, one thing that I forgot to say is it's extremely important that your dehydrator not only has the timer that it shuts down, but that it adjusts for the temperature as well. So this one I can change temperature and time. This dehydrator has 6 shelves, and I try really hard to make sure I always run it when it's full. So I'm going to fill up the rest of these shelves. To set it, I'm going to push it on. It automatically goes to 10 hours. Well, corn is going to take more like 6. So I keep pushing it until I get it to 6. Then I hit the button for temperature. 158 is too high. There we go. I like to set it at 122. There it goes. Typically, I run my dehydrator overnight. Then in the morning, it's all dried and ready to be put away. And that's it to drying corn. Honestly, it's super easy. You can do the same for any of the vegetables you stick in the freezer, like peas or beans. All of them will and can be dried very easily. Let's talk about how to plant corn. And the first thing you need to do is learn all about corn seeds. Most corn that is available to the consumer is hybrid. You have to look long and hard to find both organic and heirloom, but it is possible. Each year I plant a different variety and I collect those seeds so that I have more. So this year I'm planting Golden Bantam sweet corn. So let's head out to the garden. This is our garden, and as you know, I plant all of my crops in woven weave fabric. I will not go back to anything else. Once you have them in, you are done weeding. I have just started planting my tomatoes, and as you can see, they're just tiny. We are in the beginning of May. This is the earliest I have planted them in West Virginia. This morning, I was able to plant 40 tomato plants. This is last year's corn patch. Now, if you look really close, you're going to see the stalks that were still left here. And all I do is cut them off when I harvest, and then that way they're so easy to pull out when I'm ready to replant. With woven weave, what you want to do is burn holes where you're planting, and then you will not have any weeds come up. And I think corn is especially one of the hardest things to keep the weeds out of. I'm just going to go down each row and pull out the old stalks. I have 60 holes burned for my corn. I plant 2 seeds in each one. So that is 120 seeds, and my pack of seeds has 100. The first row is ready. Corn are heavy feeders, so I'm just going to take a little bit off the top, and then I'm going to put some fresh rabbit poop in there. And that is all I'm going to fertilize my corn with. My holes are 1 foot apart, which means my plants are going to be 1 foot apart. So first we add some rabbit poop. Then And I placed 2 seeds in that hole. Now you can plant them 6 inches apart, but I think that 2 seeds every foot is a real good ratio for us. Then cover it up and you are good to go. Just 59 more to go. 3 advantages to growing your own corn. 1, you can feed your animals. 2, it is easy to grow. And 3, you can grind it for cornmeal. Corn is considered a healthy grain. It has protein, fiber, and vitamin C, E, and A, plus minerals. Well, this day turned out to be a really productive day. It was supposed to rain most of the day, and in reality, it stayed beautiful until we got a quick, maybe 3-minute shower. What that did is I was able to plant all 80 of my tomatoes. Then I kept pushing and planted my green beans. I had just run into the house for a quick cup of coffee when I heard it pouring on the roof. And this is where it gets crazy. It was sunny and bright and pouring rain. So I quick took a short video. It didn't come out real good, but it was pretty amazing. Raining on a sunny day. Thanks for joining us today on the homestead. If you enjoyed this video on growing, drying, vacuum sealing, and storing corn, please like, subscribe, and share. Have a blessed day, everybody. Bye-bye.